Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm Jeff Howard, and I'm delighted today because I have Olivia Lige Wuri with me. Hi, Olivia.
Hello, hi, I'm Olivia. Nice meeting you.
It is so great to see you. So you're here because your film, Cut All Trees. I'm starting off with Cut All Trees. Was not just an official selection last year at Film Invasion Los Angeles. You took home the Grand Jury Award for Best Cinematography for a short film. I should have asked you how to pronounce your cinematographer's name. Jitar?
Yes, correct.
Oh, I got lucky. Beautiful film. I would want to praise everything about your film because of the story, the acting, the cinematography, your directing. It's truly wonderful. I guess I should credit you as the writer and director.
Mm-hmm.
And again, Cut All Trees is wonderful. And and according to my notes, we had the world premiere last year.
Yes, correct. That's the first time.
So lucky. So it's very, very lucky that we got to have your premiere because I'm sure have you played a bunch of festivals since?
Actually not a lot. I think that's the only screening that I had.
Really?
Yes. I didn't submit it to too many festivals.
Mm-hmm. Well, I highly recommend people watch it. Are you gonna release it online sometime?
I'm thinking about it because for the past 2 years I've been using it as a private kind of film to present it to more private connections like producers and my friends and stuff. So I would think about presenting it somewhere online. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when you do, just if you think of this podcast, just send us an email. Send me an email and say, hey, I've released it now, so we can put a link in the show notes because everyone listening is just going to have to trust me that it's a brilliant film. Just so powerful. And I guess we don't really have to worry about spoilers, but it's up to you.
Okay.
I won't reveal spoilers, but you can. But I will say that I just found it really stunning.
Thank you. Spoilers are okay with me. I'm more interested about how people think of it because it's a bold film, I would say.
It is bold and it's challenging. I think it's fair to say it deals with infidelity in a way. I can say that. That's not a spoiler. But I guess I should pray. Part of my praise is that it's so... As a female filmmaker, you made a film about infidelity truly from a woman's point of view, which we don't get as often.
Yeah, true. It's not often to see a woman desire in a film. It's very rare.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. It's normally produced or written by men who just project their feelings on it.
True.
I don't mean to get virtue signal, but I watch a lot of films, so when I see someone like yourself expressing your point of view, it's a fresh point of view. Because we've been watching men tell stories of infidelity for about 100 years. That's enough. You should tell your stories.
So, Cut All Trees was my thesis film. I made it 2 years ago, and we spent 2 years writing and making and filming and also editing it. So, when I got to screen it when I graduated, actually the film has a lot of different comments. It was really polarized. People who like it will really think about the meaning behind it, but people who don't like it, they will judge what the character's arc is so hard to understand for them. So that was kind of a problem, not a problem, more a question to me, because when I made that film, I was 23 or 24 years old, and I thought I'm presenting something new and something true to my heart, but actually it's not well received by most of the audiences.
Yeah, so I hope that at least half the audience would understand it. But I have been in the room at a film festival many years ago where it gets to the point that half the theater when there is when members of the audience are being morally judgmental of a character, I think the filmmaker has succeeded, right? Because you presented a truth that made them uncomfortable. So then you end up with people arguing over the moral choice, no, that would be a spoiler. But but any film that gets people arguing is really a success artistically, right? Because you've touched them, even if what you did is make them, and I might be unfairly judgmental of them and say, well, they're obviously people who want to cheat on their spouse, and they won't. So when they see a film about someone, they react really badly.
Yeah, I guess. But it's kind of really, I would say, disappointing for me to see my film, like, the characters on the screen, they're vulnerable at that time. But I received, like, laughter from the audiences. So I think that was a lesson for me, like how to make a film for myself and for the audiences. So I think that kind of topic is still something that's in my mind that I'm still thinking about even for my future filmmaking.
Right. Well, excellent. Well, you said it was your thesis film.
Yes.
So why don't we go back to your personal history, and that'll get us to when you went to film school. And were you a creative kid? Were you always interested in storytelling and cinema?
I would say I watched a lot of movies when I was growing up. My favorite movie star was Jackie Chan. So I had a bunch of like DVD collections in my home. I would like watch them over and over again as a child. So I really liked the magic of like filmmaking and how to like entertain or like how to lift people up, just by a story. But in my high school, I learned like more technical aspects of like it's not anything about filmmaking. It's actually really like computer or like math and physics and stuff like that. And my mom and dad, they actually want me to go into like more popular majors, something like computer science and like technology that will make you some money when you graduate. So in my bachelor degree, I learned digital media technology. So I learned a lot of stuff related to programming and related to computers, which I definitely hated at that time. So when I was in my college, I was really suffering from all the classes that I don't like and all the assignments that I find it so hard to keep up with my classmates because I'm not intrigued with it and I'm not good at it.
Right, you weren't engaged because it wasn't what you wanted to be doing. And
yeah.
Let me add, you should tell us where you grew up, where you were born.
So I was born in Inner Mongolia in China. So my mom and my dad, they're all Mongolians in China. And I had to learn computer in Hangzhou. So after my bachelor's degree, that's the time where I really think about what I want to do for my life. Just choose something that I'm truly I want to devote myself into, or something like I will wake up and feel excited about. And then I start to think about filmmaking and start to think about real storytelling and how compelling it is to me and to my life. And then I persuaded my parents to, I was like, oh, okay, if I need to do something my whole life, I really want to be a director. And my parents says yes. And then I pursued my MFA degree in Loyola Marymount University.
Oh, wonderful. So undergraduate, you got that bachelor's in visual technology, you said.
It's media technology.
Media technology, which was not a bad basis, I guess, for the grad. And that was in Mongolia.
No, it was in China.
In China.
Hangzhou, yeah.
Hangzhou, right.
Yeah.
And then one, I guess, were your parents, I love hearing that your parents supported the decision. Did it help that you already had the bachelor's to fall back on, that they said, you can go to your graduate film school, and we know you've got the technical, you have the other degree if you need it.
I don't know. I think my parents actually always send me free somehow. It's like I got the biggest choices. Like I can decide where I want to go. So even if it's like about computer science, my parents actually didn't say anything. They will say no, but they wouldn't say no all the time. They try to say yes, but they wouldn't really recommend me to do anything. Yeah, I
Oh,
think
that's
I think
really
it's
nice.
also because they don't got to adventure so much. They're not like grown up in a big city, or they're not competing over in like a big society environment. So I think they sometimes they're afraid to give me like wrong decisions. So they just let me go.
Right. And brothers and sisters, any? No.
No, no
So
siblings.
right, got it, got it. So and then you choose Loyola Marymount University, which I have to say, I think it's a very good film program. I've met people who've gone there, back for 30 years. I've known graduates from that program, and I think it's actually a very good one.
I think our program is rated as top 5 in America, and I think the biggest thing that I learned from my school is actually about like persisting on something that you want to do. I think the first class that I had in Loyola Marymount, the professor told us that if you decide to do film for 5 years, it's hard to get you anywhere. But if you decide to do it for 10 years, you will definitely success.
That was very good advice. It was literally, if you. It's funny because I would always say to people I knew, if you can quit, do it, because this pursuit should only be for the people who feel they just must do it. And if you can say to yourself, I'd like to quit, that's your sign. Do it, because there's other people who are more dedicated than you, and they'll be the ones who succeed. Yeah. Well, and Loyola is a really neat program, right? Because right away you got to start working with equipment as
Yeah.
well as doing the film theory type classes.
I think it's different from other colleges because we don't have a specific track when we got applied. So our first year and our second year, we actually are in the same major. We don't divide ourselves into like directors, producers, and DPs and stuff. We all got to create our own film as a director writer. And then on the third year, we got to choose a specific track if you want to do directing or like editing or like cinematography. And then you got to develop your own project. I think for the other universities, they're like they are already divided into tracks when they got into the school.
Yeah. Some make you choose when you're applying. Yeah. And did you? I meant to ask. You were drawn to this when were you the kind of person who wrote stories out and things when you were younger? Like storytelling was natural to you. You just didn't pursue it.
I would say so because I still remember I used to love writing diaries, and when I was in my middle school, I was writing like novel based on our real classmates. So I wrote not like a long novel, but it's more like a medium-sized novel. It's stories about our whole classmates going out to Hawaii and how we're like traveling in Hawaii. So I used all my classmates' real name and the real characters, the real personalities from them, and all. I think I had 28 classmates, and everybody was like involved in the story, and we had to travel in Hawaii. And I remember that I was reading it out loud in my middle school, and everybody was listening to me like they really went on a travel in Hawaii. So I would say, yeah, maybe I was into writing even before I knew it.
Yeah, and so obviously you knew you wanted to write and direct even before Loyola Marymount encouraged you to go specific. So over your third year, you knew exactly what you would do.
Yes. I think before choosing directing track, I was thinking about maybe if there's a sound option, I might go into sound, because I actually developed a sound mixing, sound editing ability when I got into the school, because there's also like selected courses for sound. But there wasn't a major like sound for me to do that. And the only reason I want to choose sound is because directing needs a lot of money, all the money that you need to create your film is actually out from your own pocket. The school will only provide you with like equipment, like camera and also like sound equipment and stuff, but they won't provide any financial help. So I was like a little bit struggling at the time, because I knew it's hard to create a film in LA. It definitely costs a lot. So I was struggling a bit. But in my mind, I would do directing forever if I don't have any pressure over it.
Well, and for your thesis film, you chose something very ambitious, right? Because, I mean, well, I guess a lot of it's exterior, but because your vision was so clear, it must not have been easy to find those locations and move your crew around and stuff. It was, I mean, I consider it an ambitious film.
I think for locations, it was hard to find the exact tree, because tree and the wind sound and everything related with the tree is such a big symbol in my film. And to find a lonely tree is not that easy in LA. So I was like, really asking for help for my friends, to ask about like, do you know if there's a tree that I can shoot a wide shot without seeing any other thing? There's just only one tree like standing there so tall. And I got to find it because my best friend, his name is Luis, and he lived here for his whole life. And he actually look into Google Maps, and he searched through parks one by one, and he sent me over a list of like where might be a lonely tree, and I actually drove there myself to look at it and finding it, and then I found the perfect tree for my film.
You really did, because it's not just a lone tree. It's a beautiful tree, but it's even like imbalanced, right? Because like the trunk, all the leaves, I mean, well, I don't think it's a spoiler to talk about the tree because it's on your poster and things, right? But I mean, it's a very unique looking tree too. It's very, in fact, if you had told me that tree was on campus and I would walk by it every once in a while and think someone's got to make a film about, I would have believed the tree inspired everything. That's how beautiful the tree was.
Yeah. And the background has lake and stuff, so it's a great tree. And I think that tree is also a popular spot for that park because a lot of people reserve that tree to do barbecue. So I was nervous about like booking that tree for our film production because I was worried like maybe there's people, it will be noisy for the day and all those stuff, like it often happens for productions. There's always like problems, always changes on set.
It is the hardest thing, and I shouldn't waste time of your podcast with this joke, but you never realize how many airplanes there are in the air until you try to make a film in LA and you realize there's almost always a plane. It's amazing. In normal life, you don't always pay attention to it. I always found that. Although I have learned that planes have gotten quieter over the years. Used to be worse.
Yeah.
Well, and you said it actually took you quite a while. So did it extend? Did you keep working on the film? Sort of like after the third year, it continued, even though you weren't still technically. Like, was it the kind of thing where you finished it up after completing your classes?
I'm that type of director who don't like to over edit it, because I would follow my feelings when I was like editing it at first time, because I know a lot of directors, they'll go back into post-production forever, they will change it forever, editing it forever. But for me, I think every day when I woke up, I will come up with new feelings, and my feelings will affect how I edit it. So I try to just stay with my edit. And then after graduation, I did more post-on work and I did some more composing work, and that's it. But I didn't change the picture at all.
Got it. Right. Mm-hmm. So that's what, right. And I also want to compliment your casting. I think your casting was wonderful.
Yeah, she's great.
Danny you just did like an open call, or?
It actually took me even more time. Finding the right actress is even harder to find that lonely tree. So I think the character actually carries a huge depth, a huge complexity into that role. And I was turned down by most of the actors because they don't want to do something like too I don't know how to describe it. It's not erotic. It's not. They just don't feel safe to do something like that. When they.
Right. It's challenging.
Yeah.
It's and it's actually a lot. Well, I would think most actors would want a challenge, but I also think Danielle Keaton, her performance most of the time is even without dialogue.
Yeah. True. And I think the challenging part is also about how Danny trusted me, because I did a lot of like explaining with my shot deck and stuff. I was explaining how I want to shoot it and how it will turn out and how the messages will be, because I don't want it to be something like too on the surface. Something was there, something was shot there, not because I want to show it on the camera. It's more because I want to reveal the character. And I think Danny understood it well, and then she trusted me to do something like that, because I still remember that one actress that I really liked. I really wanted to work with her, and I was like emailing her, and then she's like, no, I wouldn't do an intimacy scene for a student project. And that's the reply I got. So I was really kind of like desperate when I was looking for an actress. And I think I booked Danny like 2 weeks before the production. It was quite late in the game, but I think Danny was the perfect fit for the character. She definitely carries the emotions that she can just sit there and you think that she has stories going on, and the energy that she brought into the film is so powerful that I really thank her, and we're like close friends after it.
Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah,
because her performance, she has, right, I don't know if you did screen tests or anything, camera test, but it is always amazes me when a performer is on screen, just some people, their face leaps off the screen and some people don't. and well, you called her Danny, but your lead performer, I mean, I feel like I'm looking at a movie star. Mm-hmm. Like there's just so much being told just through her face and her expressions. And like you said, you can tell that she's thinking. It's acting on film is a very interesting and hard to define process, and some people really just have it.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah. Danny was grown up as a child actress, and I think that actually brought her a lot more. Like she knows the fragile on camera, and because like most of the people when they show up on the camera, you will often tell that they're acting. You can see that they're trying to be someone that they're not. But for Danny, I think she's really good at taking something from her own life and making it into the character. And that's why I feel like the film is so true and authentic, just because of her performance, because she really linked her own life to the experience of this character.
Right. And she was working with material that you made that was from the right place too. So yeah. And by the way, it does surprise me that the other actor rejected it, saying that I don't want to do anything intimate with a student, is, a female writer director you don't always get a chance to work with. Like, not trusting a young woman. You know what I mean? I would have liked you to get more support. I wish you had.
Maybe, but it was, yeah, there was a lot of like, I would say conversations or like just things happened in my last screening with my colleagues, that all those details that made me think about it all the time. So even if after 2 years I still think about my film, I still like to look back into my film, because I think Cut All Trees really kind of, it actually shows who I was. Through that film I see myself. Yeah, so I think that's kind of like power to me.
Wonderful. That's wonderful to hear. And I'm going to ask a question that I was almost trying not to, but I might as well ask because this is my only chance to, which is to ask your perspectives on the title.
Oh, Cut All Trees. Do you like it?
Because I do. I find it so memorable. And by the way, I drive other members of our jury. Well, I try to make people laugh. And one thing I always say is, if a film has a truly original title, they're halfway into my heart. Because when you run film festivals, I run 2 a year, so I see 1,600 films a year are submitted. And I shouldn't be mean, but like I see the name rideshare over and over and over. I see so many unoriginal titles that when I see a title I've never seen before, I think, okay, this person's actually making a creative effort.
Yeah, I think so. Cut All Trees I actually come up with the title before I finished out my script. The tree it just brings me so many memories, because when I was writing my story and my character, I kept thinking about a tree in my hometown. When I was a child, I used to play an outdoor with my sister, with my cousin actually. So we took some adventure trying to walk into a giant tree in the distance. But I still remember that we didn't make it. We just like go halfway, and then we look into that tree and, oh, why is it still far away? It feels like we can't get closer to that tree. And when I grow up, I'm a person with so many desires. I want to get a lot of things. And when I think about my own desire, it turned into the tree in the distance. The tree is something that I can't help. The tree is like something in the distance.
It's out of reach.
Yeah. So I want to make a title with the tree, and also, the film is related so much to that tree in the end. And I was thinking about, Cut All Trees. And then the name just came up.
I mean, it's such a great title, and I'm still not even, and I guess I thought it sort of related to, because trees are more permanent than human beings. Mm-hmm. So it's almost like, I think I took it to, I thought the meaning might be like cut the things that don't allow like the idea of permanence to keep you from being true to yourself in a way.
Ooh, that's beautiful. Yeah. That's beautiful.
It might not have been your intention, but you know what I mean? Like for a person to say, because needless to say, thank goodness that tree didn't get cut down. But you know what I mean? Like, to cut a tree is to take something that lives hundreds of years longer than us and get rid of that permanence.
Yeah,
so I thought it sort of was, you were sort of saying like, break with things. Mm-hmm. Well, anyway, I said it better the first time. Well, wonderful. So after graduating, did you actually, well, I guess I'm making an assumption because a lot of the filmmakers I get to meet at the festivals do choose like a specific part of the industry for a career while they work on the writing and directing. So I'm wondering if you did pursue sound and sound type work.
Actually, yes. Correct. I'm in sound. I'm doing sound. So I'm doing production sound and post sound for a living, and I would say I'm good at it as well. It's not only like a typical job that I'm pursuing. I'm good at it, and I'm doing it with my best. But at the meantime, directing, yes. So I got to direct some vertical dramas. If you heard about it, like it's popular in LA. And I did something there, and just to make a living out from it. You know, film industry is so hard.
The film industry is hard, but I keep meeting directors who have gotten paid to do vertical.
Ooh, yeah.
And
yeah.
it's wonderful. It's
Yeah,
wonderful. The vertical, even if, needless to say, a cinema person like me, the idea that someday we'll walk into a movie theater and see something vertical. Mm-hmm. I'm not looking forward to that day. But
me too. But did you heard about it? There's like even vertical film
huge.
Festivals.
Yeah, well, they're capitalized.
It.
Believe me, people have said, "Are you going to add a vertical category to the festival?" And I'm like, I know we should, but yeah, thank you for saying no. Thank you, everyone. Olivia shook her head no and waved her finger at me.
I would say like verticals is just so different from films, because like for verticals, I think the intention behind it, when people create it, they create it for fun, for entertainment. They create it for something that you can watch it and laugh about it when you're on the toilet or something, you know. But it's definitely something so different from movies.
Yeah, and it is always under like 2 minutes, right? It's short, and it's meant to be experienced on your phone. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I will always argue that the reason cinema is wider than it is tall is because evolutionarily, human beings, we had to scan the horizon for predator. That's how we look. That's how we experience the world. We didn't really have to look up and worry about birds attacking us. We were looking for lions and tigers, you know?
Yeah. I would say vertical frames, it actually created even like, you know, vertical blockings, vertical camera movements, and vertical production designs. So it's actually, I would say it's a really whole new like genre. It's so different from film. So I still remember when I was doing like vertical director, I got to think about the blocking through a vertical frame. Because if you let people, like, even if it's you and me, we talk like face to face, a vertical frame might not fit us. So I have to sit next to you.
Yeah, you almost never get a two shot, huh?
It's very tight.
Yeah, you have to be, I guess it's a creative challenge then.
Mm-hmm. It's just so different. So I would say like vertical directors, it's just different from a narrative director. And also making a vertical frame look nice is even harder than a horizontal film, because a horizontal film, you can utilize so many stuff in the room to make it like compose good, or to make it like feel it's full. But for a vertical frame, it's often ceilings.
Yeah, exactly. Ceilings and floors. And let's be honest, cut all trees, that image of the tree with the lake behind it and all that landscape would be terrible vertical. How could you present something that beautiful vertical? You'd have tons of sky above it and tons of ground below it. Yeah. Yeah, but in a traditional perspective, it's just a beautiful image. And But I get it. Everyone has one of these darn phones in their pocket. I am frustrated and embarrassed every week when it tells me how many hours a day I have it in front of me. I don't understand how I have my phone screen on that much. I don't know, but so I get it. People are making entertainment for that.
Yeah. And I hope to see more new stories, or to see like new investments in verticals, because I feel like right now the vertical contents, they're just leaning into one story type. So I believe that vertical content may evolve into something new. Maybe we will see some compelling stories, just like Christopher Nolan someday for a vertical film. Yeah, so I hope to see more different try, I guess.
Yeah,
for
because right now it's
vertical.
mostly like the soap opera thing, right? It's just
Yeah.
like there's always a cliffhanger.
Yeah. It's always about a billionaire, about a really wealthy man trying to rescue a poor woman. So I hope that someday it will be something different.
I had no idea. That's what the stories are.
You never watched it?
I have not seen one yet.
Oh, you should download it. I don't know how you feel, but I directed.
I'll watch yours. I don't know if I want to watch too many.
Maybe, but when I directed my first vertical, actually it was in China, and it was a story about a male perspective. So the guy actually died, and then he take a rebirth. Is that how you say it? He just born back again into his life, and he's living it different. He's trying to take a revenge out of the people who like hated him or who's like destroyed him last life. And when the film got released, I recommended it to my dad, because my dad's so excited about, oh, my girl's the director and she has a film. And when it got released, my dad watched it, and he's like, no, I'm not watching it. He refused watching it after 5 episodes or so. So I guess the audiences would be different, I guess. I don't know. But my dad, he doesn't like my
Was it
vertical.
because the person was out for vengeance? He didn't. It was the story.
I would say it's related with so many things, because like verticals, there's music nonstop. There will be music all the time in the track, in the soundtrack. And then the characters, they got so many dialogues back and forth. And there's always slapping, or somebody's like pushing other people into the pool or something. Those are like really classic type of like storylines for verticals. And I think people who like vertical for now, they actually like that content. They like that style. But for my dad, I don't think he likes it. My dad is more I would say my dad is more like a Jackie Chan fan as well. So it's just very different.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, yeah, the verticals, I've been told they do tend to be, serialized dramas that are like soap operas. And yeah, your dad probably isn't a soap opera fan. So.
Oh, true. Yeah.
So, yeah. And certainly you couldn't have a Jackie Chan movie vertical.
Wow.
How could you have people, the wonderful acrobatics, like in such a narrow prison? I mean, it'd be quite a challenge for a director. Maybe the first director to do a martial arts vertical will succeed.
Actually, there is. I directed one that has a lot of action type going on in the vertical, and I found it really hard to do, because in a vertical it's hard to make it look cool. I would say. So that's why I keep repeating that vertical directing is different.
It's very different
from all the narrative
I believe
directing.
you. Well, I guess I have to open my mind and watch some someday. We'll see. Mm-hmm. Well, so, and you said you enjoy working on sound. So that's excellent, because it is actually, I think most people acknowledge that sound is the hardest thing to get right, especially with independent films.
True.
It's where people tend to really mess up, is the sound.
Yeah, because people, if the producer and the directors want to cut out budget, they will cut sound at first. So there will be only one people, no boom up in sound department. It's always me for sound, and I try to make sound clean, especially for dialogues, because you can add anything in post, but just not the right dialogue because of the performance. If you do it in ADR in post, it will just it's just not right for performance. So I think the dialogue is definitely the biggest thing for indie films, because a lot of the directors, they would just talk over the takes. I met somebody like that. They would just talk over the takes. When people are performing, the DP will just talk to the ACs, and I captured everything, and I was like, okay. So that often happens. And I think for sound, to have a really flawless production sound and have a really detailed and emotional post sound is really important. I think post sound versus production sound, I enjoy post sound more because I did post sound for my film Cut All Trees as well. I think post sound is really about creating a different world. It's a different kind of audio experience that you can create a whole new feelings just through sound. And I think that's really interesting for me. So every time I got a narrative film and I was doing post sound, I tried to really get the idea and the emotions from the characters and to create the world just through the characters. It all depends on what kind of story they're telling. And I think post sound is definitely part of the story.
Yeah, absolutely. And you couldn't be more right that it's critical, and it is fun to do, right? And sound editing is you can get very creative. It's a creative endeavor. It's not, it's technical, but it's very creative, just like editing is.
So I was in a film festival. They have like training camp for sound, for directing, and like I would say probably there's like 6 positions from film crew that they will take trainee into the film festival, and together we create a film together. So last year I was in a film festival like that, and I was one of the sound trainee. So when we were creating the film, I was thinking about how the landscape will create the film and how the character will create the film. But when you hear the other films, it's actually really shocking that some of the films they don't have this creative idea into post sound. So I would say like even for producers and for directors, they really need to think about the audio experience, because if sound is like so bad and scratchy, nobody will watch it.
I'm surprised to hear that some people don't understand it, because I remember when I was young, one of the first indie film producers I met, he actually did these lectures, and he'd say the most important thing is sound. He said if your sound is bad, people will say the acting's bad. They'll say everything else, they'll say everything on screen is bad, but the actual problem is the sound. If your sound is bad, every other element of your film suffers.
Yeah, I definitely agree with it. But when it comes to budget and stuff, it's just not for sound.
They have to get lucky and find someone like you who will do a great job.
Yeah, they will just be, okay, the shot needs to look cinematic. And they will spend every money into making it cinematic. And then they will just like spend like $50 or like $100 trying to look for a post sound worker. And it was like, okay, we recorded this and that. And when I listened to it, okay, it's all like close rustles, and I can't even hear the dialogue.
It's terrible. And bad ADR pulls you out of a film so quickly.
Yeah, I would say like doing ADR is definitely hard for actors, because it's just, when I would say like for acting, the best performance really happens on set, because when you feel the vibe, when you feel the room, when you feel the temperature, it just creates the performance. But if you speak only for post, it's just not the same thing. It will be so different.
It is. So while you're doing this, have you been writing for your next project?
Yes. So I wrote one short film. I finished it, I think, this May. It's about my hometown, it's a story about Inner Mongolia, and I was studying abroad here, so I wrote a story about a studying abroad student and trying to go back to her hometown, and finally revealing that her hometown is not the same as she used to have as a child. And then the story is really about, outsider in the culture, and like how to kind of examine your past lives and your hometown, and from nowadays perspective. So I just finished that short film, and I'm like applying to some short film grant projects and stuff just to present my script, and trying to see if I can get any funds for my film.
Wonderful. Yeah. And so you're focusing on that and writing and working on sound. So it sounds like you're sticking to it.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I'm sticking to it for
Wonderful.
sure.
Wonderful. And anything else you'd like to mention before we wrap up? Is there I guess one question I thought of asking that I didn't was how did you select the school you chose in the United States?
Oh.
Like, had you heard of Loyola's program, or you looked at listings online?
I think most of filmmaking students, they will look into Hollywood list. I think there's a like a ranking kind of like list that keeps changing every year. Is it called Hollywood list? I think, I don't know, but but
I should know.
They rank it. They rank it every year.
Right.
Yes. So I heard about LMU just from that list, and our school is actually ranked higher and higher recently. So I think more students will know it. But our school is definitely a small school. My class used to have only like 10 or even 8 or 6 classmates in one section. So it's a really small class where you can like speak more to the professor and like discuss more.
Yeah, that's quality instruction when the number of I think they call it the student teacher ratio or whatever. Yeah, that's wonderful. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I ask that because I'm third generation Los Angeles, so I've known of all these schools all my life just because they're in this area, but it's always interesting. And obviously for film, it just made sense to come to Southern California, I guess.
Yeah, I would say LA is used to be the best place to be a filmmaker, but now I don't know about it.
Well, now there may not be a best place because there's so many places, but we still have a critical mass, excuse me, of people here.
Mm-hmm. I would say like for LA, something that really makes me exciting is about how many Q&A sessions that we had in LA. You got to see so many like big directors and so many big actors face to face in person in a theater, and I think that wouldn't happen that often in any other cities.
Yeah, it is really neat. Yeah, the number of times you can go to a screening here, and then actually, yeah, I mean, I've gotten to see amazing directors discuss the Coen brothers and Steven Soderbergh, and like you go to see one of their screenings like American Cinematography, and you get to see a Q&A with them afterwards and really get some insight. So
yeah,
for an ambitious person like yourself, that's invaluable.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. This is definitely the best city to even be a film lover. You can watch movies day to day.
For sure. Well, wonderful. Well, that's excellent, and congratulations on the great work and everything you're doing. And your new script sounds very interesting. So
thank you. Hopefully, I can make it next year or by the end of this year. I don't know.
Yeah. Hopefully, you make it. And fingers crossed. I know. Fingers crossed. We might get to premiere one of your works again. You never know. You never know. But I am always aware that when we get a premiere, it's because we got the timing worked. Mm-hmm. It's not. Every once in a while I meet somebody who says, we were targeting your festival for a premiere, and I think, oh my gosh, that's kind of such a nice compliment.
Yeah, I think I really loved Film Innovation LA because people there actually watched our films. Because I used to go to film festivals that nobody watched my film. Only the host may watch my film once. But when I go to Film Innovation Los Angeles, almost everybody there watched my film, and when they hear my film title, they'll be like, "Oh, you're that director," and they will say congratulations. So I was really happy that I got to have so many real audiences who watched my film, I guess. Yeah, because for indie filmmakers it's hard to find the audiences.
Oh, don't get me started on the festivals that you go to and the person even doing your Q&A didn't see it. And you're like, I just don't understand it, because these are wonderful, wonderful original films, and they deserve some respect. So, well, thank you for the compliment about our festival, because it is true. Even our person working the red carpet has watched every official selection. I've seen them all. Most of our moderators have seen them all, and our team cares. I mean, we jokingly put it on our T-shirts now, that the quote that an alumni gave us, a filmmaker at one of our festivals 5 or 6 years ago said, "This is the festival that gives a shit." And forgive my language, but we changed the I to an exclamation point for the T-shirt.
Nice. I would also say that if anybody's listening to me, if you need a sound people or if you need a director, my name's Olivia.
That's
Just
right.
try to contact me.
And not only that, but in the show notes, we'll have a link to your Instagram, so they can, if they need a quality sound person, they can contact you through Instagram, right?
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
All right. You heard that. Everybody. All right. Well, I will do the wrap up then.
Okay.
So, well, first, thank you so much, Olivia. This was a total pleasure. I know at the festival, oh boy, we used to be a smaller festival, and I got to meet every filmmaker. I got to do every Q&A myself. And now we're on 3 screens at once, and there's 65 plus films, and I end up, meeting maybe half of the people if I'm lucky. So it was a real pleasure to meet you after being a fan of your film.
Oh, thank you.
And thank you everyone for listening. If you want to learn more about this podcast, where we talk to filmmakers on the festival circuit, just go to discoverindiefilm.com. On social media, it's always at DIFwins. And if you want to learn about the film festivals, go to discoverindiefilm.org. That is the nonprofit that runs Film Invasion Los Angeles, that we hold every summer, and Sherman Oaks Film Festival that we hold every winter. And I call them sister festivals. And this year they got a cousin, because this year we held Film Invasion Lima in Peru. And next year we're holding the second edition of Film Invasion Lima. So now we've got Film Invasion Los Angeles and Film Invasion Lima. It's run by a wonderful team down there. And it was wonderful. I was so excited because we always thankfully get nice comments about our festivals here in LA. And then someone who attended Film Invasion Lima sent an email that said that was one of the best festivals I've been to. They really cared about, everyone there cared. So I don't know. I don't think caring is, I'm not sure why. I'll be quiet. I'll stop pretending to compliment myself. I'm glad our festivals care. All right. Well, thank you, Olivia.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. And thank you everyone for listening.